Hi, Fashion Dolls. It is Thankful Thursday, November 4th, and welcome to an all-new episode of Style by Stevie. Joining me today is another fresh new face, Willie D. Davis, ladies and gentlemen. And then joining me next, we have Preston Anderson at 4 p.m. So it is two back-to-back interviews. Make sure you guys share this live. Make sure you guys follow Style by Stevie _daytime. And I've got some more major news. You guys can go and check out all of my interviews on my YouTube channel. Make sure you guys go and check it out there. The link is in my bio here. I'm super excited about today's show. I know I haven't really been live for the past few couple of days. I have been so busy trying to focus on rebuilding my YouTube channel, which you guys can check out all of my interviews on Style by Stevie. It is so many. So make sure you guys go and check it out there. I'm super excited, you guys. Let me share this live with my very special guest for today. Willie Davis, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to get this interview started. All right, so I'm super excited. Hey Tay, make sure you guys are following this page. I'm going to share this live so that everyone will know that I'm on, and we can get the show started. I'm super happy. I'm hoping that every one of you are doing well. We didn't go live yesterday because we had some technical issues. The internet and everything was going in and out, so we had to make sure that everything was copacetic. Give me a minute. Let me fix my earbuds. I'm dropping everything, y'all. Please forgive me. Please forgive me, y'all. I am dropping everything. All right, ladies and gentlemen, give me one sec. I'm trying to put in my earbuds. Give me one sec. My earbuds came out. And our very special guest is here, ladies and gentlemen. If my connection goes in or out, I do not mind coming back and restarting another live. So if we pause or if we buffer, I do not mind coming back. But ladies and gentlemen, our very special guest today, Willie D. Davis. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm all right. How you doing, Miss Stevie? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfect.
Okay.
It's such a pleasure to meet you. Welcome to the Dollhouse. I'm Miss Stevie. My other co-host, Johnny, could not be here with me today. So, ladies and gentlemen, joining us today, we have actor Willie D. Davis. Fresh new face. I've been interviewing a lot of new up-and-coming faces, talent, and he's been doing this for a minute now. So, without further ado, let's get into this interview. So, tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you grew up and how did you get your start into acting?
Well, I'm originally from Grand Rapids, Michigan. I've been in Atlanta for about 20 years, and I actually came to Atlanta doing music, and I kind of fell into acting via my ex-girlfriend because she was actually the actress, but she had a diva attitude and was having trouble finding acting jobs in Atlanta. So I just kind of got in just to find out what her difficulty was, and then I've been doing it ever since.
But the reason why I did my eyes like that because I'm looking at my wall and I have a little sign that says Diva and it fits me so well. That's a whole different story though. But
some people take it to a whole different level. And like I tell people now, she was beautiful. She was fine. Don't get me wrong. But she didn't feel that she needed to go to auditions. She didn't feel that she needed to have a headshot and everything that I was learning from actual actors that she felt that she didn't need to do because she just had this impression that once you see her, that you just know that she's your star, that she didn't have to put any work in. But I was finding out otherwise.
And I'm going to add on to that before we move on to the next. Did we pause? I think we're good now. Okay. Yes. To add on to your point about that, Willie, about not showing up to the rehearsals, not showing up to this. If you're going to do this, you have to be passionate about it. Like I just did a horror film not too long ago, and I just celebrated my 28th birthday. This is my first ever acting role, and I got it on my birthday in 2020. And to go on to do the table read and so many other things, it was such a blessing for me. I went in with no acting experience. But like I said, some people need to humble themselves in this industry. For you not wanting to show up to auditions, for you thinking that if your looks, your beauty, because we do work in an industry that is based on that. And I'm thankful because I work in fashion. I do makeup, hair, all of these things. I'm a glamour girl. I love it all. But your looks can only get you but so far. The main thing that people in this industry look for is if you have the talent to go with it or not. So you have to be willing to humble yourself, not thinking that your looks is just going to get you by. Yes, people look for beauty, they look for brains, but they want the talent. What do you have to offer? What do you have to bring to the table? And that's what I say about a lot of people on my show. A lot of people just like, well, Miss Stevie, you're saying your plain old self. You've never changed. Yes, I've interviewed a lot of big guests on my show, but the reason why is because I've learned to humble myself. I don't let this industry decide who I am going to be or what I'm going to do. I go in and I make my choices and my decisions based off of that. Not only that, but I have a great circle around me. So it's all about having a great circle. So I'm glad you said that, because when people think of diva, they think of, oh, she's a bitch, she's this or that. There's so many different connotations to it. For me, when I think diva, I think fashion, I think attitude, walking in, a woman that walks in with substance and class, and I embody that. So here on my platform, when I think of diva, I think of myself, I think of changing the narrative on so many different things, because there is a connotation with black women, especially in this industry. So to speak from the female standpoint, but it's not about women right now, it's about Willie. But I'm glad that he is so funny hearing this come from a man. Even my co-host, Johnny, has said this before. He said that, some women get these egos in this industry and they're just like, okay, I want to do this, but I don't want to do the work behind it. And I'm just like, it doesn't work that way. There are women out here like myself that do want to do the work, that do want to be successful and on top. And I've done the work, done the research, and mainly importantly, I've humbled myself. So that's why I have so many, guests that flock to this particular platform. But just wanted to add to that. But my next question for you, music. How did you get your start into doing music?
We used to start out just on the street corners doing hip hop music. The same thing everybody else did when the rap music came out. You take the instrumental and you replace it with your own words. We started doing that. We started doing the new edition performances. I was a part of a few different groups back home. Then I started again running into ego problems and work ethics. So I started working solo, and my genre of music was more West Coast than East Coast. So it wasn't really room for it in Michigan. So I packed up and moved to Atlanta.
And a lot of people have so many misconceptions about Atlanta, but when it comes to music, I mean, you had LaFace Records, you have so many artists that have came from Atlanta. Like, this is the Black Mecca. If you want to do music, if you want to do acting, if you want to do so many things to further your career, Atlanta and New York are the top two places. In my opinion, there's so many others, but Atlanta's the first one that comes to mind. You have so much up there, the reality shows, hairstylists, makeup artists. You have so much talent just there. And even down here in my state, South Carolina, because that's where I was born and raised down here. It's a lot of talent that's coming up down here as well too. The thing is, with us as Black people, we shine a light on certain things. And the thing about it is, what about the new up and coming talent that is out here? Because there's so many talented musicians that are coming up. There's so many talented singers and songwriters that do so much, to help their career. Okay, there we go. I'm sorry about that. But yes, speaking of music, who are some of your musical influences?
Anybody on the West Coast? NWA, Ice Cube, E40, Ice T. On the East Coast, my biggest influence on the East Yeah, KRS-One. So I learned a lot from him. I actually got to meet him personally, and he was one of the biggest influence with my style of music because, again, he teaches in his music. And I feel like him, that's one of the things that we're supposed to do as entertainers is to not only teach the up and comers, but to leave a pathway for them to follow so that they can take over in the right way. Not with some of the stuff that they got going on now, because everybody out here now, they want to be a thug and they want to kill each other. And that's not what hip hop was designed for.
You hit the bullseye right there because I was just about to say that. So far from what I've seen in rap music is violence, homophobia, transphobia, disrespect to black women. But artists
Mm-hmm.
like KRS-One, PM Dawn, Kendrick Lamar, Common, just to name a few, that's the type of hip hop that I'm getting. That MC Light, all of these artists have
Right,
substance. You want hip hop music that has substance, whereas this, the gangster rap, is not. It's, I mean, people like that, but I don't like it. I don't like being degraded and, as a woman, disrespected. I just don't like it. We already live in a society where black women are disrespected is enough. And why
right.
not educate it? Because children are going to listen to this. You don't want to hear your children hear you rapping about in the next few years, because they're going to pick this up in their teenage years and they're going to listen to this. They're going to be like, okay, what was my mom or dad talking about? And they're going to pick this up in the next few years and they're going to listen to it. And they're going to think that this stuff is okay. So if you're going to do a message in the hip hop music world, make sure it's a positive message. That's why I like those artists that I just named. The Roots is another group that I like.
You,
Artists that,
Public Enemy.
yes, that speak about issues that we as people go through. Yo Yo is another one, black female empowerment. So it's so many out here. But gangster rap is just, yeah, Tupac is another one as well too. He spoke about the black struggle, and that's what's going on.
And here's another one of my influences. And it's just like, to be honest, I come from a gangster background. So one of the things that I've been trying to do is also to educate these young brothers to understand that there's no future in the gang banging life. There's no retirement plan. There's no 401k plan. There's nothing. You don't get a gold watch after 30 years in the business. It's a one way. It's a blood in, blood out. And a lot of these parents, they're fantasizing with these kids. If you understand the gang life, there's two sides basically. I use the stars. There's a 6-point star and a 5-point star. In the gangland, on both of those stars, each of those points has a definition. These kids are running around here. They spray painting these stars up because they think it's fun and they think it's cute. They're not understanding that if somebody walks up on them and asks them what each point on that star means and they don't get it right, that kid is not coming home tonight.
It's real out
And
here.
us as entertainers, especially gangster entertainers, instead of trying to glamorize the life, we need to educate them that this is not the life. I got so many homies that are dead or locked up that are not coming home living this life. It's not the fanfare that they think it is.
And that's why we need artists like yourself and the ones that I just named to bring up and educate the youth that also do something for the community as well too. It's so many out here, but it's all about how you use your platform. I did an interview with a rap artist from Compton, California by the name of Carville Bond, and he was telling me a little bit about the gang lifestyle and everything as well too. So a lot of rappers know about it, these codes, the street language, all of these things. It is no joke. And I tell people that all the time. When you go out here and you get yourself initiated into something like that, because I've seen programs and documentaries on gang life behind prison and everything, it is no joke. And I see people out here throwing up these signs and all sorts of stuff. You're not about that life. It's a whole different life. And me growing up down here in South Carolina, that's We're back. Just knowing that this is nothing to play around with. Like a lot of people think that this is a joke, but these members take this serious. And to
Very.
people out here wanting to get initiated, it's they jump you in and then they jump you out. So then what are you gonna do? You done sold your soul right there. So find
Basically,
something productive to do. All right, so we're gonna move on to. We just got caught up talking about real life stuff, but this is stuff that Black people need to know, especially our Black youth mainly. Um, my next part of the conversation is back to acting. Who are some of your favorite actors and actresses? And if you could collaborate with some, who would be your dream team?
uh, well, everybody wants to work with Denzel. I would love to work with him, Will Smith. Um, I'd love to do a movie with Ice Cube and Angela Bassett. Man, she's a beast. I would love to do. I would love to work on a project with her. Just watching her on that 911 show. She's amazing.
Powerful actress, powerful, and I feel like she's underrated. She should have gotten an Oscar award for her role as Tina Turner. Like all of the women that she's portrayed, just watching her growing up and reading about her in magazines and things, all of these characters that she's portrays up until fast forward now, the Black Panther. It's
Yeah,
just like she has a certain power when she comes on screen. And Keke Palmer has been compared a lot to her. I definitely can see a lot of similarities between the both of these women. Like they call Keke the young Angela Bassett. So yeah, definitely give her flowers and just do.
yeah, she deserves it. I mean, she and Mary J. Blige did that movie about Betty and Coretta.
Yes.
If anybody saw that, they know she's worth any award that she gets honored with.
Yes, and she also played Rosa Parks as well too.
Yeah,
So just all of these women that she's portrayed, from Bernadine to Waiting to Exhale to uh, the Black Panther to 911, where she's literally physical, hands-on. We've known her for being, the main leading lady, the love interest, the mother, so many different things. So yeah, give Angela all her flowers. All right. So my next thing is for you. We're going to move on to wisdom and motivation. We know a lot of people have just lost hope with this whole pandemic going on. A lot of producers, directors have had to close down sets and make, restrictions, guidelines if they're going to continue filming and things. It's been difficult for a lot of us. Like we were not expecting this to happen. And everyone needs some sort of solace to keep them grounded. What or whom keeps Willie inspired to keep going? What gives you the drive to keep going?
she's wanting to succeed, refusing to give up. There's, like you said, in Atlanta, there's too much talent out here to not take advantage of, and a lot of it, even though we are in the pandemic, there's a lot of independent people that are still on their grind. They're still doing movies, they're still doing projects, and I've just been lucky enough to be able to be pulled into some of them. And I still, practice my safety thing. I keep my mask on until I'm on set. I stay around. I stay my 6 feet distance. So it's just about just taking care of yourself and just not giving up. I mean, this is just humans have been dealt challenges since our existence. Black people especially. We've always overcome. We're gonna overcome this one. We just have to keep the faith that it's gonna be over soon.
Absolutely. And my mom said this was God's way of bringing us together. Like, even for me, even family mainly, me and my family have a whole messenger group on Facebook. Like, we keep in touch with each other. We're texting, calling to make sure that we keep in touch with one another. Like, you okay? You're good? So I've been kind of slacking lately, but don't hurt me, cousin Sherry. But I'm always texting, calling to make sure that everyone is all right, because mentally being in this house behind the walls and not being able to go out and do the things that we used to do. It's like the new normal, but we have to adjust to it and make the best of it. I've seen people literally become even more creative during this whole thing, like we're doing now, technology. Thank God for that. I've seen people have virtual All right, so my next question for you is what genres of film would you like to work on in the future? Like we've seen you do stage and so many other things throughout your career and music as well too. So what genres of film like action or whatever would you see yourself working on in the future?
Well, I would love to be a superhero. I've been the bad guy. I've been the pastor. I've been the deacon. I've been the cheated on husband. I've been the cheat.
Manifested. Manifested because we don't have enough black superheroes. And I'm glad you said that because it's when Chadwick became Black Panther, we didn't have any idea the impact that this would have on black and brown boys and girls out here because we need representation, more of that. Yes, Superman, yes, yes, yes. And they're talking about casting Idris Elba as the next James Bond. So we need more representation like that. We need more black superheroes. And so many other content creators have become more creative with creating black caricatures in their comic books and so many other things inspired after Wonder Woman and so many others. So interesting.
So I'm having fun with this. I mean, right now, I'm actually working on 3 projects right now.
You don't have to spill the
So
beans. You don't
okay,
have to.
I play a sick uncle in a film by his name is J.R. Reynolds. It's called Best Friends Holiday. We'll be filming that next week, and then I play Ronnie, the the no good husband in What Death Do We Part by E. Janae Adams. And then after that, I will be uh, detective. Well, it's an ongoing series. It's a web series called Malcolm, and I just made my debut in the first episode of Chasing Malcolm, and then I'll be back on Changing Malcolm, and then it'll be Chasing Malcolm. So Malcolm is a serial killer, and I play one of the detectives that is trying to catch him.
Okay. All right. Definitely, definitely. And that just goes to show you, again, content creators, we have to come up with a backup plan, a backdoor. My old page got hacked, all of my interviews and everything, but I finally recovered them. So thank God, for a positive circle and having people who support you and your vision 100%. So shout outs to all the content creators out here. We're going to have a little fun before we go with Willie Fashion Dolls. And we're going to do 2 games. The first game is called the Rapid Five, where Willie, you have to tell us 5 things you can't live without. And the second game is where the tables get turned and my guests get to put me in the hot seat and ask me some unfiltered, uncensored questions in a segment I like to call Turn the Tables. So let's get started with the rapid fire. What are 5 things that Willie can't live without?
Let's see, I can't live without my baby sister. Neither one of my baby sisters. I can't live without them. I'm a very protective big brother. I can't live without my music. I can't live without my computers. That's what 3.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely can't live without my day job because I got bills to pay, and I can't live without my faith because that's what keeps me going to keep on striving for the best.
I like that. And all of us should have that to keep us going and encouraged, especially in these times. We need it. Okay. All right, fashion dolls, it is time to turn those tables. So that means Willie gets to ask Miss Stevie some questions. And it's unfiltered, uncensored. So I don't know what he's going to ask, but ask away.
So how did you get started in doing this business?
I got started doing Style by Stevie like right after I graduated from high school. I got my beauty school license and so many other things. Um, and my mom, just like any other black mom out here or any other parent out here would ask, what is going to be your backup plan? Are you going to go to college? Are you going to focus? We're back. I just came up with doing celebrity pop culture topics, and then I just went on to do beauty tips. That's how I first started. And I would always do it on Facebook every single day, Monday through Friday. And it would be at 11 o'clock exact. I remember the first time when I first started, and I was holding up a tablet to interview guests and things like that. Now we progressed a long, long way. So it's good to look back on the journey of when you first started to where you're at now. So that's how I started. I would do pop culture. And then this year, later this year, 2021, I decided to shake this platform up a little bit and add male co-hosts because the standpoint is coming from a woman, myself, and men watch the show. So I know the brothers be in their feelings. Like sometimes I would get messages and things like, "Oh, you bashing men, you hate men. Oh, what about us?" Things like that. So I said, okay, let me shake it up a bit. Here comes EJ and Johnny, two amazing male co-hosts, and I'm still working with Johnny and EJ as well too. And people were not expecting that in 2021 when this thing hit for me to add on to this platform to get the standpoint for women, me, and then you would get the standpoint of my two male co-hosts for the guys out there, because I know in order to have a conversation within the black community, we all have to come together, man, woman, children, whomever, everyone in this black community, we need to be able to have a conversation. So when I created this platform, I said I wanted to do something that is unapologetically black. We already have black entertainment television, BET, but why not do something edgy where you add fashion, you add beauty, you add interviews with new fresh faces, and then you add some of the bigger names like the Tommy Davisons and the Vanessa Williams and so forth and so on. And now we're like at 310 episodes. We've been doing this for a very, very, very long time. So to see my growth and progression where I'm at right now, I'm thankful.
So who was your dream guest that you were able to interview?
There's so many. I've had so many. And shout outs to K Tukes who was just in here. He helped me retrieve some of my interviews back from my old page. And I would have to say my dream interview, because there's so many. Oof. The one with Vanessa Williams holds a dear place to my heart because when she came on and she brought up, when she came up on screen with those beautiful crystal blue eyes, I'm like, okay, this is Miss USA. This is Miss USA. So, oh my God, like you've had pictures of this woman on your wall and you would try to do your makeup and hair like her and emulate her. And to see her right there, I just became starstruck. I froze up and I said, no, I have to do this interview. So the one with Vanessa Williams holds a dear place to my heart. Yeah.
And let's see, the last question. Now, being that you are a role model, and there's going to be other women that want to follow behind you, what would you tell them to keep them motivated to be back to do what you do?
It's going to be kind of funny and real at the same time. That is, baby, put on your stilettos, sharpen your heels, put on your skirt, and walk in with attitude. You're here to do this because karma's deadly and you are karma. So you're here to accomplish your mission. And your mission is to be successful and to empower other women's lives, other young women that are coming right before you. Mainly in an industry that is so male dominated, you're in for a wild ride. So buckle up, sharpen your stilettos, and definitely throw some attitude in there.
I think I'm almost ready to be an interviewer.
Oh my goodness, this was such a great interview. And are there any other encouraging words that you would like to leave? Because your spirit, your energy is just so chill, so zen, and I'm pretty sure the audience is feeding off of both of our energy and our dialogue as well too. Before we conclude this interview, is there anything that you would like to leave to our youth and the viewers that are viewing this interview?
Yeah. One of the people that I listen to that keeps me also motivated is Les Brown.
I love
Les
him.
Brown said that you don't have to be
people all the time, there's nothing wrong with rewriting a chapter, taking a page out of the book, erasing some words, putting in what works for you. You control the narrative, you control your story, and more importantly, no one else can tell your story better than you. So that's why, you know, you have this platform so people can come on all walks of life and tell their experiences, things they've experienced, things, you know, they've had throughout their career, things they've learned along the way. Not only that, but to encourage other people to keep going as well too.
What they have to understand is that everything that you go through is a lesson. And whatever you put out into the universe that you say that you want, the universe is going to test you. Your objective is to pass the test. That means that whatever obstacle that's going to come at you, when they're going to come, you have to face it. Because once you get through that, once you pass that test, that gives you your testimony.
Absolutely, 100%, 100%. So, before we conclude this interview with Mr. Willie Davis, ladies and gentlemen, is there anything else you would like your followers to know? Any projects to look out for, where to follow you, all of that?
You can follow me on Instagram under the actor Willie D, on Facebook as Will D for the actor. And again, I have 2 movies that should be coming out soon. One is called Solid Rock Trust. The other one is called Just As Good. And in January, I'll be releasing my 6th book called Across the River.
All right. Be on the lookout for it, ladies and gentlemen. Definitely. And I look forward to speaking with you again in the future. And I'd love to have you back on the show.
Most definitely. I appreciate it, and I had a good time.
I had an amazing time as well, too. And we both dropped some gems along the way, which is definitely a plus.
Most definitely. And I thank your audience for tuning in, and I look forward to talking with you again in the future.
You too. Thank you so much, Mr. Willie. And coming up next, Fashion Dolls, we have Preston Anderson, another fresh new face. We love you all, and we will see you at 4 p.m. And special thanks again to our very special guest, Mr. Willie Davis. Make sure you guys follow him, and make sure you guys stay tuned for 4 p.m. Take care.